guys. Woohoo! It's great to see everybody again. And yeah. Hey, everybody,
Now
welcome to
repost instead of retweet.
another episode of Game Set Live, episode 57. That's right. And you can tell by the thumbnail that KY Bob is a great lover of all Serious Sam games. And yes, I just discovered the newer one, Siberian Mayhem, and that is what you see on screen. The entire first level, complete with deaths, because you will die in this game, and I left them in there. But I'm joined by some good friends tonight. Mr. Bushido, unfortunately, cannot be here. Prior engagements, I hope. And Fabio, sir,
Yo,
how are you? What have you been playing?
thank you very much. Always a pleasure to be here as always. And what I've been playing not much, honestly, sadly, but well, I've been playing some Halo Infinite because yeah, they've been adding more maps. I am loving the squad mode, the squad battle that they've added, which allows us to play in Halo Infinite the some of the previous maps from the previous games, Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4, and Halo Reach. They've just added a brand new map to that mode. And I've been playing as well some Sea of Thieves because yeah, I just love anything that is about rare and rareware in general. And I've been playing a little game called Brawl Force that has been added to Xbox Game Pass, and it is quite fun. It's stupid as hell, but it's fun.
Yeah, I just played through the first level while we were waiting to start the show, and
And
yeah,
what?
it's a bit. I mean, I can see
Mm.
the enjoyment, but it is a bit stupid, bro. I'm just saying, you know.
Of course it is stupid. Like literally, you're playing as every single action hero ever.
And glorious 8-bit at that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh goodness.
It's just missing the America Fuck Yeah song from South Park.
Yeah, yeah, love it, love it. The next, our esteemed guest, filling in for Mr. Bushido. He's on Bush's payroll. Everybody, welcome Jedi Knight Peter, sir. How you been? What have you been playing? How are things on the other side of the pond?
Yeah, good brother. Thanks for having me. Sucks that Bushy can't be here, but I'll do a much better job than he would. um, Welcome everybody. Thanks for having me again. I've been playing Remnant, and that's it. I just purchased Atlas Fallen. It just finished downloading, so I'll probably jump into that after the show.
Uh, oh, or during the show, you know. I wouldn't be
Mhm.
surprised if I heard some buttons clicking in the background. That's right.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do
Oh, I've done that before. Oh, be a
that.
Been
guest.
there, done that as well.
Yep, guest on a podcast on camera, and sitting there looking away from the camera with the controller in my hand, just off camera. Yeah, I've done it. Mr. Macbound, sir, joining us for just a little while before he has to get back to work. Sir, how you been? What you been playing? You like Serious Sam? Better say yes.
Um, no,
Better.
that looks. Sorry, that game was bad. What's up? Been playing Remnant 2, the new season of Modern Warfare 2. And, tonight or tomorrow morning, I will be playing Atlas Fallen, probably with either Peter, Umbra, one of them guys, whoever falls in the open. Can't wait for that, and I'm just at work, so if I just randomly vanish, it's because work is needs to go. So that's
Yeah.
what it is. So,
I I
thanks
mean,
for
I
having me at
mean,
the brief moment.
I mean, you seem so excited to play. Like, yeah, that I can't wait for that. And like, are you that? Are you
Well, I
okay,
can't.
brother?
I mean, I can't act like a 2-year-old while I'm at work here. Just remember. So I gotta
Why?
act
Why
normal.
can't?
Oh, I
What do
do.
you mean? Why? Why can't you? No, just kidding.
I
Just
do.
kidding. Just kidding.
I let my 2-year-old out all the time. All the time.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah. So Atlas Fallen, is it? How many players can play that at a time?
I'm not sure.
Two, like
It's definitely co-op.
it's co-op. It's 2-player co-op. So yeah, it's kind. So the people that made the game are the people that made the game called Surge, 1 and 2, and it kind of looks like a mixture of Surge and Darksiders kind of mixed together. And then that's what I would go with it. So it looks pretty good. I mean, I've seen a little bit of gameplay on it. I try to avoid it. I just wanted to see enough, but it looks really good for what it is. So I definitely can't wait for it though. So
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Bob has been playing. Well, the weekends are kind of like the weekends for me because of my work schedule and stuff now. I have a long gaming session on Saturday nights where, yes, it's pretty much Remnant. And other than that, I've played a little bit of Broforce a few moments ago just to see what it was about. And this game, Serious Sam-Siberian Mayhem. I don't know, just back from my PC days, playing Serious Sam, the first encounter, the second encounter. And you can't find the second one anywhere. Serious Sam 2, it's just non-existent. It's like disappeared off the map, just like Battle for Middle-earth 2. You know, it's a travesty. Some of the best games disappear for whatever reasons. But anyway, it is a Twitch shooter to the fullest. You are, movements are very fast, and yeah, I don't know, I love it. And whoever, the people that don't, they can kiss my butt. I like it. Yeah,
It looks good, man. Looks like a mixture of Doom and that type of game. Looks really fun.
yeah, it's
Yeah, it is. It is.
oh,
Basically, there was how can I say this? This game exists since the classic days where like Doom and Duke Nukem were the kings. And then with Duke Nukem Forever, while it was being developed, people started to look at Serious Sam and see that, okay, this game is looking pretty good, it's evolving really well, and established a really nice franchise, but at the end of the day, yeah, it is a Doom clone, but it's fun.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a Doom clone. Great game.
Of course not. Of course not.
yeah. Hey,
Am I wrong there?
Web Dave in the chat. What's up, brother? I also want to say a shout out to Timmy and Palpatine and Thember holding down the streets. Oh, there's Laura Hinkle in the chat too. Hey, Laura Hinkle. She says, "Hey guys," and "Hey Fabio, my love."
Love you, babe.
Get a room, guys.
I just saying that I love my girlfriend. Can I say that?
No,
Is-
yes, you're fine. You can
Oh,
say
I
it.
can.
Yes, you can say it.
Okay.
Anyway, so first on the topic list, so there are 2 hours of Assassin's Creed Jade footage has leaked online. Has anybody else seen that?
Assassin's Creed
No.
what?
That's the mobile game, right? Is that the mobile one that I've seen?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so yeah, I've seen a little bit of it. I've seen a little bit of it, but not overboard. It's kind of, I'm surprised it looks like it's like that on a mobile game.
I know,
A little bit
right?
that I did see. I didn't go into depth. I was actually surprised. So it's gonna be. I mean, I don't know. It's mobile. I don't play mobile games, and when I do, it's like Marvel or something like that. It's never Assassin's Creed. I don't know. That just doesn't sound right to me. So I don't know. This doesn't sound intriguing, and it does look good. But like, do I want to sit there and play on my phone? You know, that's the biggest thing
Yeah.
about that. This is meant for like the younger audience or people that play Candy Crush, I guess, or maybe try to get them into an Assassin's Creed game or something like that. I don't know what this is for.
I don't think so. What I think is that this is a clear situation where Ubisoft is kind of running out of ideas with what to do with their franchises, so they are going to try to milk that money in any way or shape possible. Like for example, you guys remember the crossover that they decided to make between Assassin's Creed and Final Fantasy 15?
No, I don't
There
remember
was
that.
there
Immortal
was a
Phoenix? Was it Immortal Phoenix? No, I don't remember what it was.
No.
I don't
It
know.
was Final Fantasy 15 and Assassin's Creed. There was a limited event where you could get yourself an Assassin's Creed costume and wear it during your playthrough of Final Fantasy 15 if you wanted. Yeah, it's bizarre as hell.
I wouldn't say that the deals because
Look
this
it
is a
up.
new story. But this is a new story, though. This one is a new ideal, so it's clearly they have ideals. They just don't know why they're putting it on mobile. That's what I don't understand. So
Big money.
yeah, but you're saying
Yeah,
they're not running. Ideals mean like they don't have. They're just like remastering like Assassin's Creed 2 and putting it on the mobile. That would be like running out of ideas or something.
Hmm.
I wonder how it'll play on mobile. It looks like they've gone like Assassin's Creed open world kind of thing on mobile, so it would be interesting to see how it played. I'm not a mobile gamer; I'd rather play on my
Yeah.
console. But they tried with what Assassin's Creed Chronicles, the side scroller. I thought they were okay. I mean, they told a pretty good story. I thought they fit better on for a mobile game. But yeah, I mean, this is not my cup of tea.
Not your cup of tea. Well, it's not really mine either. If I game mobile, it's usually using xCloud. I've always got my controller with my OtterBox phone clip on me, and that's the way I go. Yeah.
I mean,
Really, dude?
the only way for me to play a mobile game usually is with it's only with like time filler games, like you get yourself your Mighty Dooms and you get as well your Hearthstones. There was that Crash game, mobile Crash game, but yeah, usually.
What about that gear? What was it called? Gears Pop, I think is what it was called.
Yeah,
Gears
Gears
Pop.
Pop.
Gears
That
Pop
one
as
was pretty
well.
fun. That was fun. That was actually pretty fun, and it had achievements. So
Mm-hmm.
I hate the fact that they killed the game and they shut down
Yeah,
the service
dude.
and the achievements are there and completed for me forever.
yeah, that's like. Well, see, that's what I'm gonna throw this little thing. That Doom game that came out like 5 months ago, I loaded it up thinking, hey, it's gonna have achievements and stuff like that. It had nothing. I'm like, wow, this is like an Xbox game, through Bethesda with ID software, and you don't even got it on. You have no achievements, and I was like, kind of shocked about it. I know we're kind of getting off topic from the Assassin's Creed thing, but it kind of all leads into I don't play it because it's just I can't get achievements and it kind of or trophies or anything. That's what like the biggest thing is. Like it's just not something I would want to do or even waste my money on because it's going to probably cost you 30-40 bucks. It has to. There's no way it's not. They'll lose too much money.
Hey, Fabio, you're causing sickness in the chat. I don't know why, but
What the?
Palpatine just said he threw up a little bit in your mouth, a little bit in his mouth, Fabio.
Probably it's because he is saying because I said about either Mighty Doom or Gears Pop, and because I said I liked it, and so yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind them. I mean, I thought it was a nice addition, but
No, it's just okay. It's not like super marvelous. Like what can you expect from a mobile game? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you can apply
yeah.
for the closed beta right now if you guys want to check it out. They have a special website where you can do that. So if you're interested at all, I just recommend filling that out. Ubisoft are pretty good with letting people into closed betas.
Yeah, they are. I would like to see a Far Cry mobile game one day. That may be the one I get hooked to because I'm a big Far Cry fan. Or a Serious Sam mobile game. Yeah, that'd be a plus too.
I like every Far Cry. Almost every one I like. So all enjoyable. I love 6.
Yeah, I think they need to go back more to Far Cry 3 where they told more of a narrative story. I love that game. Far Cry 3 is one of my favorite games of all time.
Oh.
yes,
Yeah,
it's really
for
good.
sure.
Have I ever told you the definition of insanity?
Love that bit, bro.
Oh goodness, yeah. Far Cry 3 was one of the games that I have 1,000 for 1,000 gamer score on. And then after you remember when they came back with the Far Cry 3, was it Classic or whatnot, the one that was without the online elements, it's counted in the gamer score as a completely separate game, so you can go get the 1,000 again. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look, I love Far Cry games, don't get me wrong, but I think I loved stealthing through the places. So, like, I love going through, one of the checkpoints and not being seen at all. And I felt in Far Cry 6 that they pushed you to not do that, not stealth it. And so I hope that they bring back those stealth elements that they had done perfectly in 3. I think 4 went off the rails completely. I think 5 was one of my favorite games. I love that. It's got really great soundtrack, and I loved the the location in America. I loved the story. I thought that was fantastic. 6 was fun. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed playing it, but I just felt that I couldn't really stealth it like I like to.
Yeah. The big draw about 6 was was it? It was more of a co-op game than 5 was, wasn't it? You couldn't even play 5 co-op.
Yeah.
Could you?
No, you could. Yeah, I did. I played through it all the way through in co-op. Loved it.
I must not have had any friends back then.
Bobby, I would have played with you, bro.
I know. Sounds
Back then, what are you talking about?
I know. I sound.
The biggest thing about those that I hate about Ubisoft is excuse me, is that the games when you play co-op, it doesn't like progress over. Like you have to like start a whole new game and do it again on yours. And that's the only tedious thing about playing co-op games and those Far Cry games and stuff like that. I hate it. So my bad. I'm just talking.
Oh, you're good. And back to what you said about them bringing stealth back, Jedi. Maybe we will see that in the next Far Cry game that's coming up called Avatar. Because I'm
Jesus.
telling you right now, that game is going to be Far Cry with an Avatar skin on it. If you take,
they could have done so much more, but
for sure.
yeah, if you take Far Cry and add Far Cry Primal to it, which was basically Far Cry with a different skin, and then add the alien overlay to it, you have Avatar. So I believe it's gonna carry it. Yeah, the game's mechanics are going to be so Far Cry-ish that it's gonna feel like Far Cry with a different skin on it. I guarantee it.
yeah, they could have done so much more. But honestly, like Avatar is made to make a great game out of. And I love Far Cry, but don't you think those graphics left a lot to be desired? It just did not show very well at all.
Yeah, well, we've all seen that before. Sometimes games go way off the rails and show what's actually not even going to be capable on console, and then some of them they kind of underdeliver, and then the game comes out and they're like, wow, why didn't you just show this instead of the shit we saw? Yeah, I mean,
Face Far Cry 5. And when you go into that dream sequence with her,
yes.
I love that bit.
Oh gosh. And then if you start, so you know how you finish Far Cry 5, if you start the game over, you're basically like the nuclear bombs went off and everything, and yeah, it's pretty rough. And even the title screen shows the land decimated by the war that happened after you and him got trapped under.
Yeah. Is Far Cry 5 the one where you can kill the boss within the first 5 minutes?
No, that's 4.
Like that?
That's 4.
No, that's 4. And you don't kill the boss, like, it's just... If you wait for him to go back to the room where he says, wait here just a second, he just brings you to the end zone of the game and you watch a really quick cutscene and then that's it. That's the game.
Yeah.
I know it's crazy, but I love little Easter eggs like that. I think that's really cool.
Far Cry 6 does the same thing.
Seriously?
Yeah, where you know how when you first escape the town and you get on the boat and you take the boat to the island out in the middle where the rebels are hiding out, and you pull up to that dock on the boat and you get off on the dock and you talk to the woman, and then as she walks away, you can go into the island and like explore. If you turn around and get back in the boat and just keep driving out into the ocean, then you are greeted with a achievement and a cutscene where you're laying on the beach drinking like a I don't know, like one of those fruity drinks, listening to the news where the rebels have been overthrown out there on that, in that country that you just got out of. Yeah.
That is cool. I love that.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty neat. You know what else is pretty neat? Killer Instinct getting a 10th anniversary update with Xbox Series X. That's right, everybody. It's still breathing.
Yes!
It's still breathing. It's still fighting. And this game should look incredible on the Series X. I'm gonna have to try it. And I'm not a big one for fighting games because I literally suck at them so bad. But yeah, I may have to try this one out just to experience Killer Instinct in this generation. So, do you think this was brought on because of the community constantly talking about wanting another Killer Instinct and whatever happened to Killer Instinct. And what do you think, Fabio?
I think honestly, I think there's two options in for the explaining this. To explain this, like first of all, yes, the community loves Killer Instinct, and anything related with the Killer Instinct that we had in 2013 is just very welcome to everyone. Simply that. Or and the second option that I have, and that a little detail for this review from this review got me really curious to think about this theory, is that they might be trying to, with this announcement and the release of this game, not this game, these updates, to like test the waters to see if like after a decade since the last Killer Instinct, are people still excited to play this? Are people still loving this franchise? Would people be still interested in consuming more and more Killer Instincts? And then depending on the reaction and how many players get back and the success that these updates bring to the game in terms of activity and player counts, they might be working on a new game. I don't know why do I think that? Because the guy who announced the this Killer Instinct updates, he was called he had his name and his occupation like Microsoft head of Killer Instinct. I mean,
Yeah.
what's that?
I don't know. I'm still waiting on Primal Rage to come back, personally. It's not going to happen.
Or Brute Force?
Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness. Macbound, can you talk, sir? Are you a fighting game fan, or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh man, definitely. I can't. I can't. I've already played Killer Instinct enough. I mean, but I did see. I agree with you. I think it's just like kind of to see where the Killer Instinct is. But one of the, I'm not sure who said it. I can't remember. I've seen it. I think it had to be the same guy or the big head person. But he said, "Congrats to Killer Instinct for like 10 years. I can't wait for the next 10 years." Kind of like also saying like it kind of sounds like they're going to be working on either a new Killer Instinct or maybe just updating the hell out of this old one from 2013. So there might be a good thing for
Well,
this, and I'll play it if it's if they do more to it. But I'm not going to play something I've already put 15 hours into, and I paid freaking like 80-90 bucks for all the characters from a long time ago. Stuff.
you do bring up a good point, because usually a developer they'll come out with an anniversary edition. And we've already seen that this year too, with we've got an anniversary edition of Flight Sim, and now we got the big announcement for Flight Sim, the new one. And so this could be, hey, we're gonna give you a 10th anniversary update for Killer Instinct, and then at Gamescom, look, here's the new one.
I mean,
to look forward
I
to.
mean, there is the guy who, for what I saw, I don't know, I need to check that, but like, I think there's someone involved in this project, like maybe the guy who is the head of Killer Instinct, working on an unannounced project, and we don't know what this is.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't know. Like anything related with Killer Instinct is just so exciting, because for like Xbox definitely needs a fighting game. Definitely needs their own fighting game, and Killer Instinct is that type of game. You could definitely use Killer Instinct as well to make the equivalent of Super Smash Bros. Not in terms of the gameplay, but in terms of the characters, because like on the previous Killing Instincts, you had Rash from Battletoads and Arbiter from Halo. Like you could actually do a mashup.
Yeah. This is true. I was gonna say something, but I completely just forgot what I was so enthralled by what was coming out of Fabio's mouth. It totally made me forget what I was gonna say. Jedi Knight Peter, Killer Instinct thoughts while I try and reclaim my thoughts.
My thoughts are for the dedicated fan base, this is amazing. I mean, people have been playing this game for 10 years. They love it. I get all that. Are you really going to play this over Mortal Kombat 1 that's coming out or Street Fighter 6 that's coming out? It's already dated. The game doesn't really stand up graphics wise today. I don't think the fighting really stands up today either. So, uh, I just wish they came out and made a new one.
Well, it's very possible. Why would they give us an anniversary edition if? I mean, they're obviously in the studio, tidying this up and making this look better. Maybe they've also got a team working on something else. Which
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I loved Killer Instinct when I was a kid. I played it. I've still got the game on my Super Nintendo. I remember the button mashing for ultimate combos at the end. Jago was my man. Fulgor was my man. I loved those characters. I tried to get into it when they remastered it, but I don't know. I'm just not very good at fighting games, I suppose. And you really need to be dedicated to them because it's muscle memory at the end of the day. Yeah, like I said, I just think they should make a new one.
yeah, I did remember what I was gonna say. I was reading Pyro's comment about the Killer Instinct Gold Nintendo 64 soundtrack. Yes, Pyro, I still have that as well, and it wasn't. Sorry, Fabio, it wasn't your speech that I was enthralled with. It was the memories of listening to that soundtrack that threw me off. It was really good soundtrack, and that was back in the days where.
Is
Yes, have you heard it?
no, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. Like the soundtrack is amazing from Killing Instinct.
Yeah, yeah. It was important. Pyro. It was pretty good. It was actually
Do
one
you
of the
think they're
first
gonna
games.
make a new Killer Instinct? Like,
Yeah, actually, I think that's why. That's probably what this anniversary update is leading up to. It's quite
Because
possible.
like it's been 10 years. Why else would the team of developers go back together to just make an update of 10 years? Oh, we are going to optimize this game for the new generation. Okay, but why would you just make an update for just to optimize, put it in 4K and do nothing else? Either you make the updates, the graphical updates, and continue supporting the game, bringing new characters, new packs, new stages from now on, and say that this is now a game as service platform, a brand new game as service platform that came out 10 years ago, but we are going to come back to add more and more content to it, or you're preparing everyone to for something else, and something that everyone has been asking for years. Literally, you cannot see, like, for example, even the biggest fighting gamers from YouTube are like screaming to Xbox, asking, bring us a new Killer Instinct. You see a video from Maximilian Dude. Every single time Maximilian Dude is watching an Xbox showcase, he always mention, I wish there was Killer Instinct in that.
Well, if it comes out, if it happens, then Maximilian's got contacts. Yeah.
He's gonna be crazy by then.
You know what else? And I don't know. Speaking of new possible games, I don't know whether or not anybody was asking for it, but we're actually getting a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. It has been confirmed. It has been announced. Turns out that they were going to release a major expansion for Modern Warfare 2 this year, but that DLC had completely morphed into a full game. So, yeah. So Activision's goal for the new one is to make it feel like a standalone, full price release, and also an extension of Modern Warfare 2. So it'll carry forward into this series entries, and it will be a continuation of last year's Modern Warfare 2. So I'm expecting a seamless pickup where you left off. Let's go. Don't look for me online because Call of Duty games, I'm more invested or solely invested in the stories. I don't play COD online because I don't know. Probably because I suck at it just
Yeah,
as
so
much as I suck at Halo.
yeah, I was seeing that they're I'm about to leave here. I was seeing that they're going to carry everything over, like skins, everything. If it's not, but the only thing they're not going to keep is like if it's not in Modern Warfare 2 and not in Modern Warfare 3, it won't carry over because clearly they can't put it in the game. And the soundtrack. So them are the only things that are like not going to get carried over. But everything else, from skins to guns to blueprints to like anything possible that you paid for, pretty much is going to get transferred over. So it looks pretty well going on. But I am going to get out of here, you guys. I got a little bit of work to do here for the next 20 minutes, and then I will hit you guys up later. Sorry, Bobby, that I can only stay for about 30 minutes, but I got to get going. All right.
That's all right, bro.
Hey,
Thanks a lot for stopping by, man.
Yep. I'll see you guys
Thanks
later.
a
Have a
lot,
good night.
mate.
Later.
Have a great night.
Later. Yep. Later.
Yeah, that's right. Game Set Live, the stopping place for people who just want to stop by and chat games. Oh yeah. So Pyro was saying that. Pyro said the stream just died, and then Thember said my stream is fine. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's back now, mate. Yeah, it's back. It was buffering for a little bit, but it's back.
Yeah, I may need to change the latency in OBS. But yeah, I mentioned it in the chat earlier. Nobody seemed to cue in on it. I did change the logo. I made a new logo for the show. That's you see it up there in the left-hand corner now. I finished that in Adobe Illustrator yesterday, and threw it into the overlay today. When I went ahead and took Mayhem Games' name out under the gameplay because of scheduling reasons. Mayhem's no longer with us, but always welcome when he has the time to stop in and be a guest. So, Jedi, Modern Warfare
Holy
3.
shit! I just noted. I just noted the new logo. God damn it!
Yeah, I finished
Yeah.
that in Illustrator yesterday.
It looks great,
I
mate.
just-
I like it. November 10th, brother. November 10th. It's Call of Duty. It's gonna absolutely blow up. But I was talking to Risket the other day. Isn't it interesting that we haven't seen any marketing for it now? Like with everything that's going on with the court case and all that kind of stuff that's going on in the background. I mean, Sony still has marketing for Call of Duty, and they've got it, what, till 2024 at least. I would have thought that there would have been marketing for this game already. I mean, it's Call of Duty at the end of the day. It has that Modern Warfare name. Modern Warfare 3 was, what, one of the biggest games that's ever released ever in the history of gaming. I mean, so I found that a little bit interesting. I'm really looking forward to the zombie mode. I loved zombies in Black Ops Cold War. I thought it was great. It's more of an open world setting kind of thing, and it seems to be this is going to be a direct sequel to that. They're basically calling it Outbreak 2.0. So yeah, I love zombies mode. I love playing in co-op. That seems to be, what I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah, that is kind of peculiar that you mentioned that you would think Sony would be on top. Well, Sony maybe, because of this acquisition looking like it's seemingly going to go through, they may be looking at it as, it's Call of Duty, so everybody, the people that play Call of Duty are already going to be getting it, and Microsoft's going to see all the revenue from this, so why help them out? Why help our competitor out by advertising?
Yeah, I mean, and that could be the reason. Exactly, mate. And I just find that strange. Yeah.
But the end of the day, at the end of the day, even though Sony would be helping Microsoft, Sony themselves admitted that Call of Duty is important to PlayStation, and it is a game that they just cannot pretend that it doesn't exist and make their players not be interested in anymore, because otherwise why would they sign the 10-year deal with Xbox?
Yeah, I mean, this is true, but at the same time, they signed the 10-year deal so they can keep it on their console. But
And why do they do that? Because it's important for to them. Because like otherwise, I think that they would have at least tried to get a better deal in terms of like, okay, you can't keep all the Activision Blizzard games, but we would like for us to have like, we would like to still have Crash Bandicoot, Part of the Dragon, and Call of Duty, and that's the deal. Can we do this? No, they just said, just give us Call of Duty, and anything else is yours. I mean,
yeah, but the people that already are Call of Duty fans are going to be getting this anyway. Why advertise and bring in new players? And yeah, I just think it's gonna be so ironic that when you turn on your PlayStation and you boot up any Call of Duties from here on out, you're going to be greeted with the screen that says Xbox Game Studios at the very beginning.
that's bizarre.
It's just so.
Yeah, man, got to get used to it. But look, honestly, like nothing changes for PlayStation. Revenue that they were getting from Call of Duty is going to be exactly the same now as it was back then.
Right.
There is literally going to be absolutely no change. And they lived off that revenue. I mean, the player base on PlayStation is still bigger than it is on Xbox. I mean, that's just a simple fact of the matter. So, they're not missing out on anything. They still have marketing rights. If people, that aren't in the know, the people that don't know what's going on with the acquisition are still going to, look at Call of Duty and buy a PlayStation because they have marketing rights to it. So, look, I still find it a little bit strange.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's see. Did we shout out Infinite Umbra for jumping into the chat? I don't think so.
No, we haven't.
I mean,
What's up, Infinite Umbra?
Yeah. I guess Bush couldn't show up, so his doppelganger showed up.
You want to invite him?
Oh gosh. I mean, he knows he can jump in whenever he wants. He's got access in the Discord. Anybody's welcome if you're on and you see us on. More the merrier. Let's see. So, apparently, Take-Two's financial reports are hinting at a possible GTA 6 release window. Yeah. Their fiscal year of 2025, which will end in March. I don't think so. That's too soon. That's way too soon. I mean, if we were having a new Grand Theft Auto coming out in March, we know a little bit more than something that was found in a fiscal report. Don't you think?
They did say that they were going to be dropping a game that is going to be huge next year, didn't they? You don't really need to market GTA, in all honesty. So, I don't know. Where there's smoke, there's fire, bro.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
I would have thought it would have taken a little bit longer, personally, because I think that they wanted to get the specs for the new consoles before they pushed ahead with making another one. And they are making money hand over fist with GTA 5 online mode.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
still
constantly in the top 10 games. I mean, everybody still plays that game. Everybody still loves those games. And there's constantly content being added to it. But I am ready for something new. I'm ready for something fresh. I love the sounds of the game, the body inclined aspect of it. I think that the characters look great, both the male and female characters that got, and I love that you're going to get to play a female lead for once. I think that, it's going to be new. It's going to be fresh. And if it is like Bonnie and Clyde, I think that sounds excellent to me. What do you think, March? I mean, March is still a while away. We're only, in August now?
It is, but it's only 7 months. It's only 7 months. So, I don't know. To me, it seems soon. Too soon. 2025 or yeah. Oh, I would expect no earlier than the fall of 2024. But March, I don't know. I mean, we will see. Stranger stuff's happened. I mean, we finally got Duke Nukem Forever, and it sucked. So, stranger stuff has happened. Shout out to Red Wolf in the chat. Thanks for stopping by, brother, and blowing kisses. Peter, I hope you're well. Peter, you been sick? Something you didn't tell us? You hop in here and get us sick too? What the hell?
No, bro. No, I'm good, man. Nah, I'm good, brother. Hey, man. I haven't seen Red for a while, bro. So it'd be good to catch up.
Yeah. Apparently PlayStation games are going to get delayed. Yeah.
Aye.
They're hinting at multiple upcoming PlayStation exclusives will be facing delays in the second half of this year. Does that mean Spider-Man will not make it?
And why? Why are
No,
we
I
facing
don't
delays
think
now?
so.
Like, what's causing these delays? Like, I mean, COVID is over now. Everybody's back at work, and it's Insomniac. They seem to be like resistant to all the delays that were happening. The amount of games that those guys were able to push out, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, you know, like they're just amazing. I still say that is the best deal that Sony has done. What they got them for, what, 275 million?
Yeah.
Absolute steal.
Oh, yeah,
They
for
were
sure.
so
Crazy.
worth it. Yeah, and
For
they've
sure.
kept the PlayStation 5 alive. But what do you guys think? I mean, they need Spider-Man. I know that they've got Baldur's Gate 3 now. It's a big loss to Xbox not having that.
Well, it's not an exclusive. The
I
developers
get that
already
it's not an
confirmed.
exclusive, yeah, I understand that, but like we are in the hardcore, like I said before, brother. Like the casuals know that it's releasing on PlayStation and not on Xbox, and I get that we're getting Starfield at the same time, so a lot of Xbox players won't have been playing it anyway. But the optics don't look great, bro. But yeah, look, I think they do need a Spider-Man. I think they need something to push up against that juggernaut that's going to be Starfield. I mean, it is going to take the gaming world by storm. That's 4 people I know now that have bought a PC specifically to play Starfield. I know that many people that have bought the Constellation Edition. I've got the Starfield controller in my hands. Very rarely does a game dominate the industry and dominate the market like Starfield's going to. And PlayStation needs something to push back against that. And Spider-Man is what? The biggest comic book franchise in gaming. The games are great. And I get that people think it didn't show that well in the PlayStation Showcase, but it still looked fantastic to me. We all know the game's going to be very fun. And although it's going to be, yes, in New York again, they've opened up, what, 3 or 4 boroughs of New York. I think it'll still feel fresh.
Well, the article, Thimber brings up something good in the chat. He says, well, Jedi, what if they're delaying games we don't know about? And if you go deeper into the article does say that Sony said that these delays, they don't anticipate these changes will meaningfully impact its annual revenue forecast. That right there tells me that these postponements did not reach its biggest upcoming exclusive, which is Spider-Man 2. But that
Otherwise, like this would be the first year Sony doesn't release a single first-party title.
yeah, I mean, it's possible. I'd hate to see that, but
I mean, it's bizarre.
well, I mean, Xbox did it. We all remember 2022, unfortunately.
No. We did have a first-party title. It was a small one, but we did have Pentiment.
Okay, first party title that millions of people actually played.
No, but I'm talking about first-party titles in general.
I know, I'm just
talking
giving
about
you
that.
shit,
That's
brother.
I mean, like, that's the scariest part. Like, what's happening for... Like, it makes no sense to me. I do agree with Jedi Knight Peter. It makes no sense for Sony to not release Spider-Man. So, what I think it is, and Bob just mentioned it, like, I think we are talking about games like Fair Games or Marathon, all of those games that are games as service that we saw, there are first party titles from Sony. Maybe those games are being delayed, but I don't know if games like from Spider-Man or any game that is scheduled for the next year are going to be delayed. I have no idea.
So I think.
Yeah, well,
Go ahead.
so I'll ask you guys this then. Do you think it's better that way? So if they don't have a release date and we don't actually know what they are, do you think it works into Sony's favor that we never got a release date, so therefore we don't actually know that they're delayed? So the Twitter war can't start up, the pushback can't start up. Like we all saw the hate that Xbox back got when Starfield was pushed back. But
Yeah.
if we don't know the games they don't have a specific release date, then is the negative fallout going to be as extensive as it was for Starfield?
No.
I mean, go on, Bob.
I think one of the games that they're actually referring to is the PS5 exclusive Stellar Blade. It was an action adventure that was announced in 2019, and Sony eventually bought the exclusivity rights from the South Korean studio Shift Up 2 years ago, and they announced that Stellar Blade will be out in 2023. And if that
we're not talking about first party games, we're
Right.
talking about just exclusives then. All right, cool.
right,
I mean,
go ahead.
oh, Bob. Oh no, go please.
So I mean, for the ones that were looking forward to the game, they will be sitting here in late December going, how come we never got this? While Sony didn't officially delay it because it never officially had a release date outside of the entire year of 2023, which could be a different, a number of different titles that only fans of the game would be, or the genre, or saw it and thought it looked cool. Only those people that had their heart set on it will be affected. The rest of us, because when I first read it, I was like, Stellar Blade. I had to think back, and I was like, God, announced in 2019. I can't.
Well, it got announced as Project Eve, and it got actually shown on the Xbox showcase, and then Sony bought exclusivity rights, and I think they had to change the name because because Xbox showed it as Project Eve. That's just a little side note. That's how every female character should be designed in every game going forward.
Yes. Project Eve. I do remember that. I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think everybody
Yeah, there were
remembers
two
seeing
very good reasons to play that game.
Whew. Oh man. As for the games they've got slated beyond 2023, we got the Silent Hill 2 remake, Death Stranding 2, whatever Naughty Dog's next game is. I mean, those games don't have solid release dates, so they could internally delay them, and then when they are sure on it, come out with a release date. And the public would never. The problem is Xbox just puts a date on things before they're 100% sure about shit. And so when they delay them, then it's a big deal. Then it's all over Twitter. Then it's a war. But if you just put a broad blanket release out there, a broad window, and then don't say anything until you have a concrete day, well, then you don't catch all the negativity over it. PlayStation's always been smart about that.
Xbox has learned the hard way, but Bobby, I mean, look what happened to Halo, bro. Look what happened to Starfield, two of the biggest games this generation, both showing terribly and having to be pushed back a year.
Yeah, so true. Let's see.
Oh, wow, just me and you now, brother.
Yeah. please. Be right back.
What's going on, Bobby? Everyone's leaving us, right?
I don't know what's going on, but Fabio had to go eat dinner with the family, so that's cool. While we're on kind of this, what game do you have a PlayStation 5?
No, I got rid of it, bro. So I had one, and yeah, I honestly wasn't playing it, bro. I love the Xbox community, and I know I'm missing out on a lot of games. So I still got my PS4, but it's the community, it's the family atmosphere. It's playing games with you and Risket and Umbra and Bushido, that I love. That's what I enjoy to do, man. That's how I get my enjoyment, chilling out in games and, in parties with you guys while playing games. And I just didn't get that experience on PlayStation. So although I know I'm missing out on great games, it doesn't bother me that much.
Mm. Yeah, you're just hoping that Xbox buys everybody so that you can have all...
Actually, I don't. I'm one of those people that think that we need competition in the marketplace. The reason why Xbox bought Activision Blizzard King was because Sony were absolutely dominating the market. I mean, and they were pulling crazy deals, and they were taking games away from us with third-party deals. They were going to take Starfield away from us. I mean, everybody forgets that. I know all the PlayStation fan base are really shitty. They're not getting that game. But PlayStation tried to buy exclusivity of that game, and Xbox had to do something about it. They had to push back. And so, because of the dominance of PlayStation, they were able to raise prices to $70. They were able to raise the price of their console even after it had been out for a year and a half. These things are only possible because they know their first place and their first place by a considerable margin. Now, hopefully, with the Activision Blizzard King acquisition, that narrative starts to change, and Sony are going to need to pick up their game. They're going to need to bring out AA, AAA bangers, to combat what Xbox is doing. Yeah, I really do think that competition breeds innovation, and it works out better for the consumer, for us.
Yeah, it does. But I don't know. It does work out better for the consumer. We are going to get a better product. Think about it. The way I always like to think about it is, so Sega was already dead. Sega had already crawled into its shell and decided it was just going to be a publisher. What if Xbox had never come along? How far back would console tech be right now if PlayStation didn't have the competition?
Well, don't forget, Xbox have innovated heavily in this space. I mean, Xbox Live was one of their big first things that they had. Putting a broadband thing back, connection into the box very, very early on. Having the DVR, functionality. Being able to burn, CDs onto your hard drive. On the original Xbox One. So Xbox has been great at innovating, where PlayStation seems to be where the status quo is good enough for them. So I think that gaming and Xbox has done a lot for gaming. I really do.
Yeah, let's not, online services, first console to put a hard drive in the console. Who knows? We may still be working off memory cards right now and playing, you never know. I mean, PC did it first, so...
A PC does everything first, but...
Right, yeah. So PC may have pushed Sony at the end of the day to move forward if Xbox hadn't, and as far as tech and convenience and stuff like that. But you really can't say that. I mean, unless we can visit an alternate dimension right now and see what that looks like. So...
I mean, I love the fact that Xbox Live is a thing. The other day, Bobby, we were playing Remnant. And we were chatting. I'm talking to somebody that's in America, the other side of the world. We're playing together. We're playing co-op games together. That is where gaming is fun to me, bro. And nobody knew if Xbox Live was going to take off. That was a risk that Microsoft were willing to take.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Oh, fancy meeting you two here.
Hey,
Who invited this
Umbra! What's up, brother?
Invited this man in here.
What's up, brother?
How are you, bro?
I figured I would come in class to join up because Pete was just running his mouth, and I'm like, let me save KY Bob real quick.
Wow.
You know,
Well,
I had to look out for you. You know.
Well, I appreciate that, Umbra.
Yeah.
Man. So, brother, thanks for stopping in. How are you doing? And shit, man, I haven't talked to you since Saturday. What have you been playing since then?
Man, it's been a
I've been
journey.
playing Remnant, you know, it's been pretty good.
There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. He always trying to usurp my position and time right there every time. Man, you know, I've been doing a few things. I have been gaming, but I bought Atlas Fallen that comes out tomorrow, so I'm excited to play that. The reviews are looking kind of average though. They're like good at least, so it's like 7 out of 10s, which is not bad. I was just expecting a bit of a higher score, but I bought a few other games like lower, smaller games, and man, I've just been trying to perfect the craft on my podcast. So right now I'm working on my YouTube advert. I got it. It's looking good. I just gotta, you know, map out the rest right now, and I'm trying to grab another guest. But other than that, man, just work really, and you know, trying to kick it sometimes with Pete and then when I can. It has been kind of scarce since I've been in parties with everybody. Really though, it's been kind of bad that way. But I'm going to try to correct it though. But yeah, man, happy to be here to join you guys really quick.
Shout out
I got
to
Atlas Fallen as well, bro. But I think it's playable, like right now.
What's
I don't
that?
think,
Atlas?
Yeah, I got it too. But when I bought it, it wasn't on pre-order anymore. I'm pretty sure we're able to play it now, bro.
Maybe if I move to New Zealand, maybe.
yeah, very possible.
Maybe I gotta join Red over there with the hobbits, you know.
Hey, big shout out to Boba Fett Gaming and Shooter in the chat. Shooter says, "My God, KY Bob, you will let anyone on your panel." Hey, Umbra. And
I read that, Shooter, brother.
Shooter, only those with access, my express consent.
I snuck in, Shooter.
Yeah,
You know.
he did. He slid in there like KY.
Pause. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. So what are you guys talking about right now? I heard a bit of it about the PlayStation,
Yeah.
PlayStation and
Possible exclusives being delayed, which, I mean, you know, PlayStation fans may be freaking out about that, and the Xbox fans are like, delays? Nothing. We lived through a whole year of delays.
I know, right?
Bro, I want to get your take, bro. Do you think GTA 6 is coming out next year?
You know, it looks, all signs seem to point to yes, and simply because even Zelnick, when they talked to him about it, he was talking about how they expect to make, I think, $8 billion in, you know, sales and microtransactions next year. And by the way, or fiscal year 2025, I think he said, which is the latter part of 2024. I think that's what he said, to be more precise.
Yes.
But his
Part. All right.
yeah, and his everybody will know his financials are tied to that because he gets a bigger bonus based off the microtransaction sales and things of that nature. So it's definitely an incentive for him to push that out. And I don't know how you would get 8 billion in sales without GTA launching. You see what I mean? So I believe, yeah, it seems to point to yes for GTA next year, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's right. And we've all seen the leaked footage of GTA. Well, what did
We have.
What we and it looked very bad. I don't believe that was actually GTA 6. That was horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, very early, bro.
It was really early. Thember just posted. He said Strauss seems to hint to 2025. Actually, yes. Thember, I believe it's the quarter. I believe the quarter of 2025, which I think is 2024, the last quarter of 2024, if I'm not mistaken. But it could be 2025 as well. You know, it all depends. But I'd have to look into it again. But I would think next year would be a more of a free year for sure. I can't think of too many other games that we know of that would challenge GT. I don't mean, well, hell,
Nothing's
if they
gonna
release this
challenge
year,
it.
yeah, true. To be fair, but yeah, I think it's possible 2025 as well, maybe. they might want to get it ironed out well. But I can see 2020, 2024 seems to line up with what he said, because he said they're planning on bringing in 8 billion in sales next year. So you can't do
I
that without
wonder-
something major.
I wonder who gets the marketing rights. Like,
Well, I'm hoping Microsoft, but
Oh, hell
something tells me it won't be them. But I would hope that they'd be more aggressive and get it. I think that would be wise.
Yeah.
They usually go for the market leader. I mean, Rockstar can pick whoever they want, and whatever they
True.
do, they're going to make money hand over fist. But
So true. Yeah.
I mean, they could always call them up and say, look, either we get exclusive marketing rights or we won't stop until we own your ass. Oh,
Yep.
gosh. Do you, Umbra, do you, and think about this very, very carefully. It depends on, the outcome depends on whether or not we are still friends. Serious Sam?
You say Serious Sam? I've never played it, but I've been told to try it out soon, and it looks pretty fun. I've been watching your gameplay for a minute since I've joined earlier. Looks pretty fun. I figured that's what it was when I saw
Yeah.
when you were backing up and everything and facing these mutants. But yeah, it looks like it could be fun.
Yeah, he's a unique personality. It is over the top, but definitely unique from Duke Nukem and all that. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
on to the next
so it's on
topic.
Game Pass, Bobby. Like,
Yes, this game, Siberian Mayhem, is on Game Pass right now.
Oh, awesome! It's on Game Pass.
I
I might give it a go.
As a matter of fact, Serious Sam 4, which is the next gen only title, it was also on Game Pass, and I played it, and I installed it, and I played it, and apparently, because I tend to buy everything, I thought that I had bought it, and the other day I was like, man, I never finished playing 4, so I went to start 4 up, and then it said, do you own this game? If you own this game, go to the store. And I went to the store, and I didn't own it. So apparently, number 4 came out on Game Pass last year, and I had just convinced myself that I had bought it because I buy everything. So, yeah. But 4 was really good, too. Yeah. It's one of those old school games.
So what else have you been playing besides Serious Sam?
Let's see. I played, oh, shoot. I was just playing it. Broforce.
Oh, okay. They got a Broforce 2 coming out, right?
I don't know.
I saw it. I saw it the other day, I think.
I have never even heard of it, Umbra. Fabio said, what? You haven't played Broforce? Like, the most patriotic game on the planet? I'm like, no, I don't even know what you're fucking talking about.
America.
Yes. Home of the free, land of the brave.
Right.
Oh, so yeah, I played the first level of Broforce. Actually, while we were waiting for everybody to file in and start the show, and I gotta say, no, no,
No.
no. It's not really a hard pass, more like a soft pass. Like, yeah, don't have anything against the game, but I don't know. I think I outgrew all the side-scrolling Contra type games. Yeah, I'm more of a, this grown up. I need 3D adventure in my face and Souls-like shooter mechanics, and yeah, I just need all that stuff that game's just not going to give me. No. So, I know, Umbra, you like Modern Warfare. What do you think about the third one?
I do like Call of Duty and Modern Warfare. The thing is, though, I don't really play for their multiplayer, right? So it's a weird thing for me. So for me, it's going to always be the single player campaign, and that's what I'm excited about. But the thing is, the beauty of it is that now that it's coming to Game Pass, I don't have to have this torn mindset where I'm like, I would buy it, but I'm not going to play the multiplayer. Really, should I buy it? When it eventually comes to Game Pass in the future, I'm not saying it will this year, but like eventually when they start landing on Game Pass, it incentivizes me to play both. So because I can just jump in if Peter or anybody is like, "Come on, bro, let me yell at you and torture you like I do everybody else." I then I could just load that part up. And what I'm sure
Well,
will be and what I'm sure will be like 150 plus gigabytes, and play multiplayer with him and be abused. You see what I mean? So uh, there is that there is, there is that option. What I'm most excited about, though, in general with the Call of Duty franchise, is that the potential for not only for remakes and remasters as they've done with the Modern Warfare games, but also for them to do it with past games. I know people would love it for Black Ops, um, and in fact, just so putting those games, like, imagine all those games just appearing into Game Pass, or at least they might want to do like a package of whatever, like say 3 here, 3 there, whatever. I don't know how they might want to do it, but imagine them putting it all up in there into Game Pass. That's beautiful for me because many of those campaigns I haven't played simply because I knew I wasn't going to play the multiplayer aspect. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing. Modern Warfare 3 is likely going to be the biggest seller of this year, which is saying something because look at Zelda, excuse me, and look at Baldur's Gate, which is doing exceptionally well. Although I don't know if the sales are super, super high, but it's doing well as far as concurrent players and things of that nature. Then, of course, you have other sellers like Hogwarts and such. So, what, up, I believe 20 million it's made now. So, as far as copies. So, I believe that it's going to be a big thing for sure. It's going to be one of my topics tomorrow on the show, too. So, yeah, it's going to be big, man. It's going to be big. I'm just, my thing is when it lands on Game Pass, that's when I'll be preparing my mind to be abused by Pete and do what I can.
well, when you don't pull your weight, bro, I have seen you play, man. Sometimes you just need a bit of incentive and encouragement, bro.
That's what he calls it, encouragement and incentive.
But Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was the second highest selling Call of Duty of all time, I believe, just behind Black Ops. So Black Ops had almost 31 million, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 had 30.97 million. I mean, this game was everywhere when it first released, and it was the culmination of a trilogy that took the gaming world by storm and changed that Call of Duty name from, a fantastic, great game to the juggernaut that it is today.
Yes.
Yeah. But what about you, Bobby? You getting Modern Warfare 3? Or are you anticipating? Or what are you feeling? Because by the way, is this supposed to be a remake
Yes.
of the previous It is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, a remake of what I think is, to this date, the highest selling Modern Warfare of all time.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think 2 surpassed everybody's expectations, but 3 blew it out of the water.
I see.
Yeah.
And then
3
now I know the case, too. They showed a trailer earlier for Makarov.
Yep.
They showed him, so the reveal for him. Yeah, it's going to be dope, I'm sure.
This actually is one of the things we agree on, bro. I've never really been, ever, in the history of Call of Duty, ever been a Call of Duty multiplayer fan. But I love the campaigns. You go all the way back to World at War, and then the Black Ops. I thought the story for the very first Black Ops was one of the best stories I'd ever played through. How you found out sitting with the president that you were actually a mole programmed to kill that very president. I was like, it was mind blowing for me. And so the stories, the campaigns of Call of Duty have always had me enthralled and totally just, yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the story. It's supposed to be a continuation right after the number 2 remake. So yeah, story all the way, multiplayer. Nah, I'll stick with playing co-op with my buddies and the occasional getting my ass kicked in Halo Infinite with the buddies. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the zombies, so if you don't like the multiplayer aspect, I loved the zombies in Cold War, and this seems to be a direct continuation from that. So a little bit more open world. You got to go find a lot of stuff, which is really really cool out there. And I love my PVE games. They're just a lot of fun.
Risk it.
Yeah.
Want to know where is everybody? I don't know if he's talking about the chat. Chat's about normal. The
No,
show.
he's talking about the panel.
Fabio just got back from eating dinner with the family,
Nice.
and
Thank you very much.
Bush.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Mr. Bushido
Bush.
had prior engagements, and Peter is filling in for him. And Noof Nukem and Mayhem Games are no longer part of the show because they unfortunately could not do the schedule change that I was forced to do because of real world life commitments like changing jobs and having to change schedules and everything. So there you go, risk it. That's what it be. It's the Bobby / Fabio / Bush show with Jedi filling in and Umbra being gracious
Fortunately,
enough.
scraping the bottom of the barrel.
No. Let me say it the
quote
way.
unquote Umbra. Maybe it's Bushido in disguise.
No. Let me say it the way I want to say it, gracefully. Giving us his presence on the show. Yes, there you go.
You know, Bushido wishes his voice was as silky, buttery smooth as this. I just want to clarify. Yeah.
That's why he's using a voice modulator, just like you're using now. Bush.
This is a conspiracy.
Be like Walter White in Breaking Bad. You got me. You know, he threw his hands up.
Oh,
You got me. You got me.
You got me. You got me. Yeah. Oh, goodness.
That's clearly going to be a sketch for the Chappelle Show.
So, I don't know if we talked about it before you got here or not. Umbra, Killer Instinct getting a 10th anniversary update for the Series X and S.
There you go.
Yeah. Do we think that this, because whenever games come out and they advertise an anniversary update, there's usually another game in the pipeline that they're getting ready to drop. Flight Sim did it. Why can't Killer Instinct do it, huh?
That's a good question. It's actually one I'm going to ask tomorrow on the show as well. I don't think that you suddenly, grab, this IP, and a fan favorite, by the way, because plenty of people actually still play Killer Instinct. I don't think you grab that. You grab the director. Was it Goddard? I forgot his name right now. You don't grab that and say, hey, we're going to do this new thing and update, the previous game to these new specs, and then, like give you better textures and all of that. And I don't think you go through all of that if you don't have plans to eventually give us a sequel. And it's a much requested sequel at that. And Microsoft would be foolish not to put a bigger budget and continue on the IP of Killer Instinct, honestly. So it makes sense to me, very much so, that I think logically you could expect a future, sequel for sure.
I mean,
my thing is just give it a bigger. Yeah, and it got back out Iron Galaxy too. That's right. So you don't do all of that.
Make it. There was a rumor that Bandai Namco was working on it last year, I believe. I think we talked about it on Xbox Infinite. The guys that made Super Smash Brothers. I mean, they have pedigree. Who would you prefer if there was a choice between Iron Galaxy or Bandai?
It's a tough one. Bandai does make Tekken, which I love.
yes.
Yeah, but I think Iron Galaxy has done such a great job with the 2013 Killer Instinct, honestly.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's. I feel like you got to go with the horse that got you there, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly. Well, in those terms, then Rare would be the one to do it. But
Yes.
the only guy who is there from the original team is Robin Beanland. That is the composer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Rare can't even get across these days what their games are supposed to be.
What do you mean?
They hit us with trailers, and everybody's wondering, what is this game going to be? Everwild is what I'm talking about. Everybody's
Okay,
wondering,
fair
what's
enough.
this game
But,
going to be? And then come to find out, well, why isn't it out yet? Oh, well, we went back to the drawing board on part of it. So, yeah.
well, there was a when they announced when there was the review that everyone was going to change the game director, the creative direction, or something like that. I don't know. Like Rack Mails joined the team. That's what I've heard about. People were saying that the game is scheduled to be released on to have a 2024 release date. So, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
Wow. By the way, I was surprisingly correct. It's weird because my memory on some things are terrible, but I actually did remember his name. It was Goddard. I was correct. On Killer Instinct, by the way. Sorry to track back a bit, but another thing that I thought was big, by the way, is that they showed up at Evo the way they did. And they got a big reaction too. I'm sure you all saw. So the love is there. They just have to deliver, I believe, with the proper product. And the thing is my only contention with Killer Instinct, the previous one, is that the budget clearly was too low. It needs a bigger budget, especially now in 2023. You look at games like Mortal Kombat and Tekken, and those are clearly big budget games. They can't, I think, go short on budgeting for Killer Instinct if they want it to be the bigger hit that it could be, like it used to be. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
And I think Xbox has such an opportunity with Killer Instinct being a fighting game in that genre. And if you think about all the other fighting games that Umbra, all the other fighting games Umbra just mentioned, all those IPs are owned by the developers, and Killer Instinct is the only one that's actually owned by a platform, and for them to not repeatedly be taking advantage of that, to me, is an L. Yeah,
For sure.
if it was a shitty game, yeah, okay, I would understand, but it wasn't. It clearly wasn't, and for them to not follow that up and continue the support, if Undead Labs can support State of Decay 2 for 3 years, then why?
It's been free. I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
mean, they
been-
shifted into a
has it been
support
3
role
years?
with help with Diablo and I think Dead by Daylight or a few other games, and then they made Rumbleverse, and Rumbleverse looked like a good game, but it kind of launched at the same time as Multiverses, and that just destroyed it. And it shut down servers 6 months after launching. This Iron Galaxy I'm talking about, and so. Now that they're not doing Rumbleverses, it's shut down. They are hiring at the moment, so if anything, I think the game's very, very early in development if they are going back to Iron Galaxy, but they definitely aren't working on anything else. But if they are working on it, it's gonna be a while.
I mean, honestly, what I think the Xbox needs to do is, as fast as possible, try to convince maybe Iron Galaxy, that could be a good one, honestly, but acquire a studio. It can be a medium-sized studio, it can be a small-sized studio, it doesn't matter. Just get a studio that knows how to do fighting games. Like, otherwise you are not going to be able to enjoy what you were working on, because let's be honest, what Xbox has been doing, what Microsoft has been doing, is we no longer want to be dependent on third-party developers. We want to only create most of our games from our own studios. That's their idea. That's what they've been working on. That's why you see so many on Xbox nowadays. You see so many FPS studios, RPG studios, with the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, once it gets through, or if it gets through, we are going to be able to finally see, alongside as well with Double Fine Productions and Toys for Bob, we're going to see studios that are focused on platform. You have the 4 Knights of Apocalypse from Xbox, Fable, Halo, Gears, and Forza as well. The only thing that honestly they would be missing when the Activision Blizzard acquisition gets through is a fighting game studio.
This is true. I mean, like I said, they should that. I mean, when you it's a massive poster now with many different blocks in it of major titles and franchises that are now under the umbrella. Killer Instinct deserves a big block because it stands. I mean, there's so many other games that are in the same genre, but Killer Instinct stands alone as being the only one in the fighting game genre. And yeah, I just
Get by WB and own Mortal Kombat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
oh,
Now
That
he's
would be
talking some.
huge.
Finally, he's talking some sense here. That's what I like to
That would be
hear.
huge. That would be huge. But let's be honest. Would they allow that acquisition to
They will challenge
to?
it, but it's still a what you call it a horizontal. And that's where I'm looking for a vertical slice of the pie. So
Still a
there's
vertical
still
merger.
yeah, still a vertical merger. That's the word I was looking for. Merger. It's still that. So, but they still will get scrutiny, no question. After they did what they did here with ABK, they're going to be on them. But that's the one I've been hoping for, Fabio. I'm hoping for WB, and I'm hoping for Capcom. But I know Capcom is. I don't even believe that anymore. But WB, I think, is still possible.
yeah. So last topic. Just as soon as hey, Army Drake, brother, thanks for jumping in the chat. For those who don't know, Army Drake was one of my coworkers at my last job, and I moved on to bigger and greater things. 20 minutes from my house, which is that's a plus. I can be at work if I push it 15 minutes. It's awesome. But hey, shout out Army Drake. It's great to see you in here. Going into our last topic. Yes, Thember brought it up, and Thember, it was on the docket, but I figured we end the show with this one. Avowed. Avowed was going to have co-op, and the co-op was canceled by Obsidian. And which I understand why they did it, but in this day and age, when you look at these type of games being played cooperatively, if you look at Diablo, if you look at Remnant, you look at Atlas coming out tomorrow, you look at Baldur's Gate, all these games playing cooperatively. I mean, it's really the way to go these days with these types of games because they're just so much fun to play with friends. They did release in a documentary not too long ago that it was originally going to have co-op, but that they canceled it to focus on quote unquote what they do best, which is basically engaging quests, deep characters, and rich stories. I don't know about you, but I've seen many other games that have co-op that those stories, quests, they're not lost on the co-op aspect. If nothing else, it's fun to see a good cutscene over again because you've joined somebody else's game that's not quite to that place that you are in your game. And it's fun to be able to watch those cutscenes again, hear those stories again. And I don't know. Let's start at the top, Fabio. You think it's a cop out, or do you really think that putting co-op in Avowed would have pulled from Obsidian's creative juices?
Like I think the situation is not necessarily like they are pulling away from their creative juices or they are doing something that they are not they would like it's not something an Obsidian thing to do because they have a game like Grounded, which is totally co-op. You can totally play that with your friends, of course, and the experience is so much better. But when it comes to an RPG, an Obsidian RPG, I think what they wanna do is to be the most traditional as possible. And sure, okay, but usually their games are like Path of Exile, which is from the top, just like Diablo, and with a ton of tests, and that's it. That's what you text, and then that's it. That's the game. But I think that with Avowed, what they are trying to do is like, okay, we could do a co-op game here, but we are afraid that the experience might be less than what we imagined to be. Like, okay, we have this great idea to add co-op to a game, but the implementation that is done just didn't work out as they wanted for it to work out. Like take a good example, Redfall. Redfall, they had one thing in mind, and then at the end of the day, Arcane Austin, they said to themselves like, this is not the type of game that we are fans of doing. We prefer much more to, instead of working on a co-op game, we prefer much more to. We would love to make a game as a service title, but it would be much better for us to work on and to develop if it was a classic Arcane title, single player, story driven, stealth like, approach the situation the way you want to, and that's it. You know what I mean? I think it's just a situation of where is our strength at. For Obsidian, is single player RPGs.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think about it like that. I think, yeah, maybe, I don't know. I'm not a game developer, but just like, I keep thinking about Remnant 2 and Remnant 2, how it's co-op. And the only thing, literally the only thing that changes in the game is, one, the scaling of the enemies, and two, when the person's game that you're in the cutscene, it shows their two co-op people just standing behind them. Other than that, it's playing the game co-op is identical to playing the game solo. So, I mean, again, I'm not a developer. I don't know how much work goes into that. But you don't have to drastically change a game's framework, storyline, experiences, or anything like that to be able to just experience it with friends. This is what I'm saying. I don't know. So I'm on the fence. On one side, yes, they're great at what they do, and that hasn't involved co-op outside of Grounded. But on the other side, we've seen so many other titles do it with ease, and like I said, it, other than them being there and experiencing it with you and fighting with you, it doesn't change the experience at all when it comes to the story, the quests, the actual meat of the experience. Umbra, what do you got to say on Avowed dropping co-op to focus on what they do best?
I think it's smart. I think you should, as anybody, be they a developer or anything in life, you should always play to your strengths. And Obsidian knows what their strengths are. So for that statement by Ferguson to come out and say that, I think it just speaks to the wisdom of that studio, knowing what works for them. You know what I mean? You stick to what works and you stick to what you know. And I appreciate how confident he sounds too in what you read. So he talks about, they look to be proud. They won't just sit on the throne of amazing RPGs. You see him, he's talking his stuff right there. We're not just going to sit back and coast on these amazing RPGs we got. No, we're going to give you new stuff. We're going to keep working. We're going to be proud of our future works. Like that right there is pure confidence. So, and that's why I trusted Avowed so much from what I saw. Some people didn't really care for what they saw with Avowed, but I did, because at the end of the day, even if the visuals aren't something crazy or what we quite expected, I know that Obsidian is going to give us a ridiculously good game at the end of the day. So I appreciate this right here from Ferguson, and I think it kind of plays to the times that we're in. I think most game companies and devs and studios and the budgets put behind them are factoring in that most people aren't playing co-op like that unless they're typically shooters nowadays. Maybe even racers, maybe, but typically shooters, right? So those are the ones that's going to really get you your multiplayer part, the co-op and all of that. It's really shooters, be it Fortnite, be it, Halo, be it Call of Duty. It's typically shooters leading that pack. And I think you only have a few unicorns when it comes to other games in RPGs and things like that that might have co-op. I think they're just kind of dwindling right now. I don't think that the demand is as great as it used to be, and so I think it's a sign of the times. But I think it's also them playing to their strengths, and they know that hey, a single player, great experience RPG is what we're going. It's our strong suit. So we're going to deliver you that. I think it's just smart. They've been in the game for 20, over 20 years. And they're going to be in it for 20 more, being under Microsoft and delivering what they're going to deliver us to us. So I'm all for it, man. I love it. I love what I read, and I love what they do. So all for it.
Yeah, of course you do. You're not really a team player. You're more of a solo, guns a-blazing, got just me and my horse, and that's all I need. I don't need no people dragging me down. Yeah.
I only developed that after I saw how Pete treated his teammates. So I was like, you know what? It's best if I just solo dolo this, because
Holy shit, Pete. Oh, okay. Well, on the heels of that, Peter, what do you think about Avowed dropping co-op and basically Umbra saying that you treat your co-op cohorts like dogs?
Well, thank goodness he doesn't want to play with me because honestly, I was sick of carrying him.
Oh, God.
Honestly, it was getting heavy on my shoulders. But actually, I do agree with Umbra. So when it comes to co-op games, I think shooters do it a lot better. So Remnant, hell of a lot of fun playing that game with friends because it's just a shooter at the end of the day. I don't think RPGs play well as co-op games. I would prefer to be in that world, immersed in that world. And look, this is coming from a person that loves gaming with friends. That's where I get my enjoyment out of. But RPGs, you want to be immersed in that world. You want to feel that you're the one changing the story. And what do you do with you have? And Bob, you were just saying earlier, how much does it change development? It changes it considerably. So boss fights will be designed differently. Narratively, it will be designed differently. But I want to be the hero to my story. I want to be the person that saves the princess, saves the world, whatever, that may be. What happens with romance options? What, are you going to have a threesome?
It is 2023, brother.
God damn.
No.
Hey, you get the bear. You get the bear. I got the princess.
Yeah, so, and I love that Obsidian is sticking to their roots. Now, bear in mind, Obsidian have been one of the preeminent developers of our generation, but they just haven't been given the money that they've needed to make their opus. With Microsoft's backing now, they have that money. So make the game they've always wanted to make. That's what they talk about with Avowed. This is the game they've always wanted to make. The game they've been striving for. They want to put it all together. So play to your strengths. What are their strengths? Single player narrative experiences, in beautiful worlds. I cannot wait for Avowed. I don't think it showed that good, in all honesty, but I think it was very, very early, and I have faith that Avowed is going to be a great game when we finally get hands on. Hopefully 2024.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, where Sony has Insomniac as like their most productive studio ever, Xbox has Obsidian, because so far Obsidian has released Pentiment, Grounded. They've announced Outer Worlds 2, and they're about to release Avowed next year. So I mean, they just don't stop.
Oh, you're also forgetting about New Vegas 2, yet to be announced.
Oh yeah, for
That's
I
right.
mean, well, don't make me hope, Bob.
Oh, it's coming. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Both studios under the same umbrella right now. Yeah.
And
It won't be
IP,
made by
and the
Obsidian.
IP as well.
Like, they just don't have time. They've got Grounded, which is doing amazing things. For such a small game that started with a development team of 12 people, that game is just a hell of a lot of fun playing with friends. They've got Outer Worlds 2 that they're working on. They've got Avowed that they're working on. I mean, that's more than enough.
I mean, it's a good amount, but I wouldn't put it past them. You know what I mean? I feel like the desire is there, not only from us as fans, but them as a studio. You know what I mean? They want to do it. I think though it's just manpower. So it's definitely right about the things they're working on. It's going to take a lot for them to get around to it. But I would say where there's a will, there's a way. And where there's a budget, they get paid. So we'll see what happens. I had to rhyme. I don't know why, but it's a black.
I like that.
You like that? It's in my black DNA. I have to rhyme.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh. Oh, gosh. Here we go. And with that being said, Umbro is the only one here on the panel right now who can play basketball. Just saying. I mean, if we're going with the stereotypes.
I can play basketball. I was a great ball player back in the day, man.
Of course you can.
He can only shoot threes because
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Ain't nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with that.
We all. Well, I don't know if you all do.
If that was such a whatever, he can only shoot threes.
I'm old enough to remember.
Steph Curry is no one, right?
I'm old enough to remember Jordan versus Bird, so threes are definitely a important part of this conversation.
Oh yes,
I mean, Stephen Curry,
Oh, Steph
Yeah,
Curry.
I watched that Air Jordan movie, and I've been watching a hell of a lot of documentaries on YouTube about the Dream Team of '92 and
Oh, man.
how good Larry Bird was. It's all through my feed at the moment. Just very, very cool times, man. When basketball was at its best.
absolutely, no question.
I call you bring up you bring up Steph Curry. I call Steph Curry the Patrick Mahomes of basketball because Steph Curry, I've seen that man throw up some crazy stuff from halfway down the court and that shit go in the basket. I'm like, how the fuck did it? Just like Patrick Mahomes, I've seen him sidearm over the back sideways shit to a guy 10 yards down, goes for a touchdown. I'm like, who the hell plays football like that? Yeah, so major props to Steph and Mahomes. But, we have covered our last topic, which brings us into, you all know what it's time for. It's overtime. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, this is the part of the show where we're going to dive into get to know a little bit about the people on the panel. That's right. I have professed my love for Serious Sam, a game that has got its own subgenre in the shooting realm, and a game that I've been a fan of since the very, very early days, early 2000s of PC gaming. So I'm going to ask the panel a game that they enjoy, and when I say subgenre, I mean the not quite triple A type. It can be any genre, but not quite triple A of that genre that they don't know a whole lot of people that respect the game as much as they do. So, Fabio, sir, what is your game that you will always be a fan of the genre, but not, I'd say probably 90% of your fellow gamers they're not into?
I don't know if I can honestly consider it as a genre or what is called as a genre, but I'm gonna go. It doesn't have to say one of the best games that I've played, right? Because that
right. It's just something that
it doesn't have to be right.
You appreciate
that I enjoy.
And that you've always had fun with, but not as many people enjoy it that you think should.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, it's exactly what I'm thinking here. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the genre, whatever the hell it's called, of games like Crackdown. Because yeah, guess what? I enjoy the hell out of Crackdown 3. And I don't care what everyone thinks about it.
Oh, wow. I did not see that coming. Woo.
I think Crackdown is like an action adventure, right? / shooter.
Yeah, but it's so crazy and just it's like Central. It's so crazy and absurd that can you just call it something generic like that? It's like Saints Row, destroy all humans. Even Dead Rising, I mean, it's crazy, stupid, and fun.
I wish they would have gone further with it, but I did enjoy 3. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't think it's the greatest it could have been either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
now,
yeah.
if they made it now, though, I think it'd be even better because the technology just wasn't there for it yet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
for
They
sure.
focused so
That's a
much on
fact.
putting it into the cloud because
Hmm.
Microsoft wanted that. They wanted that destructibility to put into the cloud, and it was basically a tech demo being made into the game. And it was the same thing that happened with Rise. So Rise was meant to be initially a Kinect game, and Microsoft pushed them towards
So
that.
true.
And I think although Rise was a fantastic game, the amount
Yes.
of pushback that game
Yes.
got was just not worth it. I remember when you had the X and the Y prompts came up and you had to hit them. They changed that to just the blue and yellow outline on the character, and I think they did that as a much better job. But to me, the fighting was so reminiscent of Batman Arkham that I just don't understand the negative press that it got. I mean, that game still holds up today, both visually and gameplay wise.
Thimber in the chat says Frostpunk, one of his top games. He loves building games, and yeah, I mean, I love building games too, Thimber. Especially real time strategy games. I love to, build my army, build my base, and then Command and Conquer, Halo Wars, and Age of Empires hold such an Age of Mythology. If you're listening to Microsoft, which I know you're probably not, but we would like to have Age of Mythology at least in Game Pass for PC. I could not believe Age of Mythology was not in Game Pass for PC when Age of Empires is. I mean, come on. There's so many fans out there for that game. But yeah, I'm rambling. Infinite Umbra, sir. You know the qualifications of your answer. So what is it?
So basically, we have to give you a genre that we feel is underrated, right? That people don't really
Well, it doesn't have to
go to
be.
play like we do.
It doesn't have to be a genre. Because I mean, okay, there are a lot of like I used Serious Sam as an example because, of course, it's in its own genre. I mean, it is part. It is part of that wide genre of your games where. I don't know if y'all remember a lot of the games in the past. There were Painkiller. You remember Painkiller? There was a game called Will Rock on PC. These type of games were basically just different skins of what you see online. Lots of enemies and what. So yes, they were part of a genre, but I'm calling it a subgenre because it has personality. It's different. It's not just a cookie cutter. So yeah, I mean, you could pick any genre you want, but a game that is not as
Not as beloved as some of the main.
exactly. I mean, is there a beloved
That's
game?
that's why I was saying like games that are like not as popular, I suppose. That's the word.
Yeah, exactly.
If I had to go with a genre, it would be something like text-based games, and I appreciate some of them. Right? You got like the Phoenix Wrights. I'm sure you all have heard of that. Objection. Phoenix Wright.
Oh.
Yeah, so stuff like that I love. And I actually first played Phoenix Wright through emulation. I played it on a PC years ago. And I loved it so much I bought the trilogy on Xbox. And I still have to go through it and finish it. But things like that, Unmemory, Disco Elysium, which I also bought, and I got to get through that as well. And that was in contention for, I believe, Game of the Year at a point, Disco Elysium. So you got some games like that in the text world that are really, really great. I just don't think that the genre gets to shine like some of our other more famous genres like RPGs and action and adventure and things of that nature. I think it's the less shiny option because you have to do a lot of reading and people don't want to read. You know what I mean? And it's boring to them to have to read and go through all the dialogue. So if I had to pick one, it'd be text-based gaming, and I would go with the Phoenix Wright franchise.
Oh, yeah. Would Pentiment be in that category?
You know what? I would consider it. Yeah, absolutely. And I actually enjoyed Pentiment, by the way. Beat that too. So yeah, I would consider that absolutely. I would put that in the same category. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
So that would be maybe a game that was perhaps before its time, and if it had a resurgence right now, it may gain quite a because Pentiment has gained a large following. Maybe it
I
was
think I would.
something when people weren't ready for it.
It's possible. I think though you got to look at last year. Last year we were such a drought that people gave it more scrutiny than it possibly needed to. You know what I mean? It didn't get the love also because we were in a drought on Xbox, so people were like, I don't want to play that. Where's my big AAA? You know what I mean? So it got undeserved hate because of that too.
Yeah.
I think, but I played it because I was like, look, I don't have a ton of things to play at this moment. I like Josh Sawyer. I know they're going to put something great up because in Exile, excuse me, not in Exile, but what's the word I'm looking for? The team, Obsidian rather. I trust them as I said earlier, so I knew there was going to be something good anyway, and it's decent. It's a decent little game. It's nothing major or anything like that, and I don't think it's any genre defining game. It's just really solid. It's a nice little mystery kind of thing. Got its own little charm to it, and I think it's enjoyable. So I don't know. Last year had a few of those types of games. Matter of fact, I would even throw. What was that name of that game that came out during the summer, fellas? With you could do co-op with it too, and it was kind of in the vein of the Telltale games that Xbox had. It's Dusk Falls.
Yes, Dusk
right?
Falls. Yes.
That would be also in that genre. So I actually enjoyed both. I think As Dusk Falls was actually better overall if I had to pick between that and Pentiment, and because it was more drama too, I would say. But they had no. You know what? To be fair, it's not quite text based because you do hear them talk. So I take that back. But yeah, last year was just such a drought. I think people unfairly judged against Pentiment and made it was mocked. So it didn't get the shine I think it deserved, but it actually was really good, and I hope that there is a sequel that Josh Sawyer can give us personally.
You know what they could do, Umbra? Because you're right, I don't think people really like to read during their video games. And I mean, we are going back. These games have been around forever. I remember playing them on the Commodore 64 when I was a kid. These text-based games, those choose-your-adventure type of games. They could, because we have the ability to now, is actually read out the passages to you and then have them in text if you need to go back through them as well. And I think that would bring a lot more people to that genre.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Absolutely.
Well,
Make it a little bit more interactive and such too, right? Yeah.
wow. I have a new gaming respect for you, Umbra.
Yeah. See, I'm not like Bushido. I'm diverse, man.
I thought you were all about flashy AAA bangers. I mean,
Oh no. Listen, I got the flashy personality, but I'm not a flash in the pan. You see what I'm saying?
shit.
Yeah, that's Bushido style.
Oh,
Big Bang, big bad peanut butter voice Bushido, nutty peanut butter. I'm the smooth peanut butter. I just try to get y'all to understand that. It is what it is, though. Don't worry about it.
All right, Peter, you're up. A game that not a lot of people are really maybe aware of or give as much credit as you think they should.
Look, I am a AAA gamer. I'm not gonna, shy away from that. But before Elden Ring blew up the entire gaming community, I was into Dark Souls. Now I'm talking way back in the day. And I still don't think Dark Souls gets the appreciation that it deserves. Elden Ring gets talked up, but Dark Souls is where it all began, and I love that game. I bought a PlayStation 4 because I was not missing out on Bloodborne, and the amount of community help that you need from those games to push you through, the little messages, the wikis that come out online, just because they are so difficult, really give you that really cool community feel. It feels like you're all in it together, even though you're fighting the boss alone. So that would be my take, the original Dark Souls. If I had to choose something else, a detective style game, in the kin to LA Noir. Now, we've never seen it since LA Noir, where they did CGI, mocap, and you have to pick up that somebody's lying to you just simply through their facial animations and, also what they're saying. But a lot of it is through, how, if they're looking up, or they're looking down, that real detective-esque things. I love that game. LA Noir, and I just can't believe they never made another one.
Yeah, LA Noir was good. I remember playing it on the PC when it first came out, and yeah, it was amazing. Be having to watch those interrogations and ask questions and see how they react to it, and it's definitely different. And you're right, we haven't seen anything. And you would think with the technological gains that we've seen in gaming, in AI, in physics, that would be a no-brainer to see a reiteration of that type of game, and we just haven't. It's a shame. Well, all right, that ends overtime. I don't have to get, you've been watching my choice, Serious Sam, the games, the series, the legacy, as the thumbnail depicts, for the last 2 hours. So with that, we'll get into outro so everybody can get on with gaming and get on with life. Fabio and Mareem, sir, where can people find you at?
Yo. Well, always a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Bob, for having me. You can find me here on the Game Set Live podcast. You can find me on Twitter as FBO Amorim97. You can also find me on Xbox as Buffalizer8, and you can find me on, not just here on the Game Set Live podcast, but you can find me on the XPN Network YouTube channel.
Awesome sauce. Infinite Umbra, sir, thank you for stopping in and giving a little bit of color to this light panel tonight, sir. Where can people find you?
Yeah, bring a little cocoa to all this white milk up in here. That's what I do.
That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about your personality, your flair. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, hey, potato to potato. It is what it is. Tomato tomato. I'm just calling it. No, man. No, man, it was my pleasure. It's always fun. As I like to say, it's always what's always a treat when gamers meet. You know what I mean? So it's fun to get in here and talk with you fellas, and always chopping it up with P's, my brother. So yeah, I saw the bet signal put out there. I saw the show dwindle down to 2. I'm like, let me get on in there and help out. I can't let you go out like that, Bob. I got you.
Brother, so, I would be on here by myself if I had to, just for the joy of doing it.
I hear you. I hear you.
I was here, bro. I was here. That was enough. Honestly, the show just took a slide when you came in, man.
Listen, he's right about that. It was enough. It was enough of that torture. So I had to come in here and get in here and help out.
Oh man! So when's this fix on, bro? I heard about this fix show, man. That's pretty good. When's that on, bro?
Yeah. The fix is coming on tomorrow night at 8:00 Eastern. So if you guys are free, Palpatine, Thimber. I don't think you've ever been there, Thimber. I think you've forsaken me for some reason. I don't know why. But you guys, see, I'm guilting him into coming to the show. So you guys come through tomorrow and on my channel. And matter of fact, I'll post a link in a second. But come through tomorrow and show a brother some love and support it. We would really appreciate it. Tomorrow, of course, Baldur's Gate 3 will be part of the topics. That, Killer Instinct, Modern Warfare 3, and plenty of other topics too to be a main topic in our news roundup. So yeah, come through for that and show us support. You can find me on Twitter, Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite. You'll find me either way. And I will talk with you guys later. Thanks for having me come through, Bob.
Awesome sauce. Always a pleasure having you. Jedi Knight Peter, sir, filling in for Mr. Bushido tonight. Always a pleasure having you here. You've always answered the call in the 57 episodes that we've had. You've always been like the first to call whenever we needed a backup or somebody to fill a panel. You've always been there. It's always been a pleasure, sir. Please let everybody know where they can find you at normally.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, we do this just in parties when we're gaming, Bobby. So it's no different to me just being live, bro. I love chatting gaming with you guys, man. It was just much better before Umbra joined. Unfortunately, he did drag the show down considerably. Damn. If you want to see another bad show, I did link the fix in the chat, so go follow him there. I'm just fucking with him. It's a great show. You guys can find me at Xbox Infinite on 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday nights, at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays, and at Jedi Knight Peter on all socials. Thanks for having me, man.
I
Awesome.
forgot to mention, by the way, I'll have C Money and Epic Treasure as guests tomorrow. I forgot to mention that.
Sweet.
Yep.
Sweet. Just to let you into a little of Bob's psyche, when Jedi Knight Peter got on his intro and started talking about the slide that it took when Umbra hopped on, immediately in the back of my mind, I started singing, "Can you feel the love tonight?" to myself.
It is where we are. Don't have me start singing,
Exactly.
man. It's enough for this wide-eyed wanderer that we got this far. Let me stop.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, and always,
It's become a musical, god damn it.
Jesus. And as always, this is KY Bob, your host and the wrangler of the Misfits on the Game Set Live show every week, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can find me Xbox, Steam, YouTube, I already said Xbox. Wow. Twitter, KY Bob, same everywhere. I finally found the imposter going by KY Bob, and I beat him down. He's no longer in existence. That's right. But anyways, everybody have a good weekend. Game on. Be safe. We'll see you back same bat time, same bat channel next week. Good night, everybody.
Later.